Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 1919 podcast pregame edition. I'm happy to be joined by Alex, who will be taking over for Robin as the new co-host of the 1919 podcast. With that being said, Alex, what is the biggest thing you are going to be watching this Sunday?
Well, hey, man, thanks for having me. Well, obviously, the unfortunate news that Kenny Clark is on the COVID list. You know, he's such a big part of that front four. I mean, the penetration that he gets in the middle of that offensive line. I mean, that dude is playing some of the best football I think that I've seen him play in his entire career. And
Yeah,
then if Lamar Jackson is going to play, how effective is he going to be? And what kind of pressure up the middle are we going to get?
yeah. You talk about Kenny Clark, and we look at the injuries in the past, and this year it's kind of been different. He's able to get that pressure. He's looking like the all pro you want him to be, the guy that when we paid him all that money to be that guy, and to have him go out with COVID and the way that COVID has kind of taken over the league, it's tough. Now you have a young guy, TJ Sladen, who's going to have to step up. It's always been that the next man up mentality with Matt LaFleur, and I think that we can do it. And I think that TJ Sladen will do fine. I just don't think he'll be able to replace that energy Kenny Clark brings to the table.
Well, I mean, Kenny Clark's the second best defensive tackle in the NFL behind Aaron Donald. I don't know if anybody aside from Aaron Donald could replace that. Um, yeah.
And you talk Lamar Jackson. If he plays, there's rumors that he is going to play. There's rumors that he's not going to play. The Ravens say that they're going to make it a game time decision within the hour of within the hour of kickoff. If he doesn't play, um, do you like the Packers' chances to, even without Kenny Clark, to get to the quarterback?
I I like the Packers' chances, even if he does play. I mean, you know, you're looking at the way that this defense has played the last few weeks. I mean, I know last year at the end of the year we kind of got hot, but I mean the improvement that this defense has shown on a week to week basis. I mean, you got guys that you just brought in off the street that are playing at Pro Bowl caliber levels. You know, you look at Devondre Campbell. Pro Football Focus has ranked him as the number one inside linebacker this year in the NFL. I mean, that's a huge signing. Got to find a way to keep him, by the way, Matt. Um,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at the front office, and people complained about the front office and how they weren't bringing in talent. And this year, with injuries and what's happened with the Packers, they brought in a bunch of people to try to help. And like you said, you're getting guys who we pulled off the practice squad or pulled off teams that they didn't want them anymore, and they're playing at Pro Bowl level as backups, and we don't even have our Pro Bowl, um, you know, our Pro Bowl corner or anything. I mean, we're playing with two.
Bakhtiari,
Yeah,
Zadarius, Jair, yeah.
correct.
And Goody, if you're listening, for the love of God, go trade Jordan Love for a double fucking cheeseburger at McDonald's and keep Aaron Rodgers for the next 4 years, man.
Yeah,
Sign him up.
yeah. I mean, speaking of Rodgers, going into that, because a lot of people did not like that Jordan Love pick. I was at first a little skeptical about it, and then it's now turned into I think we should keep Rodgers. But speaking of Rodgers, he is going to be having the opportunity to break the all-time passing touchdown record for the Packers. He's 3 touchdowns away from that record to pass Brett Favre, and that's huge. I mean, that just shows how much of a legacy he's left, in Green Bay. I mean, and
What an accomplishment too. I mean, you know, you start your career as the backup behind one of the greatest to ever play the game, and then you become one of the greatest to ever play the game. And I'm super hopeful that he's going to get it done this week. Because I mean, you look at that Ravens secondary; they're missing Chuck Clark, Marlon Humphreys just went down. You know, Marcus Peters is out. I don't know what kind of pressure they're going to get now on that front four. Calais Campbell's out, so we'll see if they can. We'll see if he can. You know,
Yeah, I mean, you look. I agree with you. You look at their secondary, and it kind of reminds me of the Packers secondary last year, where we got really banged up, and we had a lot of issues. People were just throwing over us. People were asking for Kevin King to get fired almost every game. And you look at the Baltimore Ravens, and their secondary is all backups. Uh, and it's if you're the Ravens and you have to go to play Aaron Rodgers, I don't care if you're at home or not, you are in a world of trouble
you about
to
to
try to.
you about to get beat the fuck up is what's about to happen.
You're in a world of trouble if you think that Aaron Rodgers is not going to
Let
destroy your secondary. I mean, it's just your secondary is going to get destroyed, and unless you can bring the pressure, which does bring up another point of our offensive line. It's kind of built, we keep losing people, and now you're playing with a bunch of backups.
Hopefully next week we have Bakhtiari back though. I mean,
Yeah,
Dennis Kelly did a phenomenal job coming in against
I agree.
Chicago. Um, uh, so Baltimore has a top. I can't remember. I just read the stat. They're either number one or two against the run in the NFL. So I mean, you still got to try to get that going. It's going to be hard with such a young offensive line. I mean, we got what young
Well,
three young guys on there. I
well,
mean,
it brings a point too. If the secondary of the Ravens is banged up the way they are,
quick passes.
it's gonna allow you to one do quick passes, one take the deep ball if you need to, if you don't think that they can compete, and that kind of takes away that ability to stop the run. If you're trying to blitz on run plays and trying to stop the run, you're not going to be able to give you're not going to give extra help to those linemen, defensive linemen. You're gonna have to have linebackers back
If
up and
if
cover.
if you are running the ball effectively and AJ Dillon is absolutely running people over, or Aaron Jones, you have to give them help. I mean, you can't just sit back and let Green Bay run and gash you for 6 or 7 yards a carry. I mean, game will
Well,
be game will be over so fast.
yeah, and like I said, it's all about adapting, and it's always about that next man up mentality. But I'm hoping that it gives a big hole in their game plan against the Packers. Because with the Packers going forward, um, we're gonna get players back. We're gonna get a bunch of players back, all pros back. Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander, Zadarius Smith.
Hopefully,
Uh,
Zadarius.
and maybe Randall Cobb in the future for a playoff run. That's a tough one. Um, is there any players that you're looking forward to specifically, even if it's someone I named? Is there a player you're looking forward to, and why do
Dude.
you think
Oh,
he's going
dude.
to be such a huge help if they bring him back?
All three of them, baby. All three of them. You got Jair Alexander. I mean, you're talking, he was rated last year by Pro Football Focus as the number one corner in the NFL. Going into the playoffs, you're going to need somebody that can shut down these big time wide receivers. I mean, so who are we going to go against? You're going to go against either the Rams. I mean, they got Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham now. Fucking asshole should have came to Green Bay, but whatever. It is what it is. And then you got Arizona, which DeAndre Hopkins just got hurt. I don't know what the severity of it is. Have you heard anything on DeAndre?
I have not, but we can update that going into our Sunday podcast. Uh, moving forward with that, I can get a little bit of more information on that because that's a
And,
huge thing
I
going
mean,
into playoffs.
and then the Cowboys, CD Lamb, you're going to have, and Amari Cooper. Jair just brings, I mean, what do you do in the secondary? You got Eric Stokes playing at a really high level. You got Razul Douglas, obviously. Now he's a household name in the state of Wisconsin. Everybody knows who he is. I mean, out of nowhere, sign him off the practice squad.
He's
And
becoming a all pro.
this is a big game in the sense that we're going to clinch the division if we win. So
Yeah,
let's,
you win, and you're in, and it's a huge. I mean, now you give the Vikings fans no hope.
I,
Uh, at all. I mean, with them winning last week, the Vikings, you want to try to put the nail in the coffin.
And that
You want
number
to
one seed, baby. Give us that
you want.
bye.
I mean, yeah, and you talk about the number one seed. If the Packers win out, they are the guaranteed the number one seed. There's no way no one can catch us.
Yeah,
So it's in the hands of the Packers. The Packers go and they win out, they're the number one seed.
I
No,
think my prediction for this game would be Packers by 17 all day. Even if Lamar Jackson plays, if Lamar Jackson doesn't play, I say we win 31-7. I mean, I don't think this will even be. I know we're having a lot of issues, but we've had a lot of guys step up in major ways. I mean, even our backups look like starters now. I mean, so I don't think there's any way Baltimore comes out on top here. I mean, it could happen, but I don't see it. I don't see
yeah,
it.
I don't see them. I don't see them going and beating the Packers. Um, it would take a lot, even with Lamar Jackson. I mean, this is the issue too. You know, we talk about Aaron Rodgers and his toe and his injury. At what point do you say, do you want to risk a player? Well, Aaron Rodgers is toe. It's not the end of the world. But with Lamar Jackson, does the Ravens want to push it, get him hurt even more in a game against a defense that can get to the quarterback?
I mean, if he's able to play, they're going to play him. I don't know the severity of his injury. I mean, they're fighting for their playoff life now. So,
Well, and it brings me to another thing with injuries. We talk a lot about injuries, and one of the biggest things that I'm seeing with the Packers is our wide receiver core is decimated. Um, I mean, I'm looking right now. We're not in good standings. If we right now Malik Taylor's out. Well, he's questionable. He could play. MVS is questionable to play. We would have Alan Lazard, Amari Rodgers, and then Brown is out too. St. Brown is out. Well, he's doubtful. He could be out. I doubt he will actually play. The way that concussion, how they are treating concussions in the NFL today, I don't think he'll play. So that means we'll have Devontae Adams as our number one. Um, we would have Alan Lazard as our number two. Amari Rodgers as our number three.
well, Amari Rodgers better catch a pass from Rodgers better than he catches a fucking punt return. I'm just telling you that right now. And that's kind of where the run game comes in. You start pounding the ball, all of a sudden, you're going to bring those safeties up a little bit, and before you know it, it's the third quarter, and Devontae Adams is one on one with somebody. And then you could split Aaron Jones out too, and the emergence of Josiah DeGuara. That dude's been playing some good football. He's a second year guy who was out all of last year. I like the way he's been playing lately. So we got weapons. I ain't worried about it.
Okay. And this goes into the last point that I'll bring up, and I want to kind of get your opinion. You say the Packers win by 17. What is your final score? What do you think the score will be, the final score in total?
Um,
Even if you just put out 17, you can redo it whatever you want. What do you think the final score is going to be for this game?
24-7.
24.
24-7.
So you think they're only going to score one touchdown?
Yeah.
That's optimistic in my opinion, but I think the Packers win this game. I do think they win by 14, but I think it's 28. I think they do 28-14. Maybe they get 17 with a field goal.
Yeah,
But
you gotta take into consideration that Justin Tucker kicking fucking 700
yeah,
miles. I mean,
yeah, they have a really good kicker. I don't think they score a lot. Definitely, if Lamar Jackson's not playing, and even if he's playing, he's going to be stuck in the pocket. He's not going to have that mobility that has made him the quarterback that he is today,
All
and
right.
how he's
Actually, I take back my score. I say 31-9.
31-9.
Yeah,
Okay,
dude.
okay.
I forgot about the X factor on the field goal unit over there for Baltimore, Justin Tucker. Um, and I think, there's a pretty good chance if if our offensive line holds up against that pass rush, which I think they will, because I don't know. I think that Calais Campbell has been ruled as doubtful for the for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't see that pass rush being much of an issue. We've already gone against pretty solid pass rushes this year.
Yeah.
I mean, so I would think that Aaron Rodgers gets that record.
All right, I agree. I do think he's going to get that record. I honestly think he scores 4 touchdowns. Throws for 4 touchdowns this week.
I hope
But
so.
with that said, we're going to end it here at the 1919 podcast pregame edition. This is our first time doing this podcast in the pregame edition, and I'm excited to have you, Alex, joining me as the new co-host.
Thanks for having me, man.
And I'm excited to see us grow. So with that being said, you guys can follow us at the 1919 podcast on Twitter. You can visit us at the 1919podcast.com. And as soon as we get everything set up on personal side, I'll have Alex's Twitter linked along with mine and any other information we need. But until then, we'll see you guys Tuesday when we release our next podcast.
And as always, go Pack, go, baby.
Go Pack, go.